997, 998, 999, 1000.
Keep going.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005.
Gotta go to 10.
1006, 1007, 1009, 1010.
Oh, it burns. I did so many.
Didn't see you there. That was tough.
Oh, man. Apparently, we are live.
Hey.
A couple of fannies. Oh, man.
Who's on tonight?
Oh.
Turn your volume down.
Tonight is your night, bro.
Best scene in the movie. It was funny, I was watching James Corden and he was doing the best scenes from, like, he does all these famous actors, and he acts out with them all their movies in 30 seconds or whatever it is, or 2 minutes. And we've got Arnold Schwarzenegger and he's like, what was it he says? Oh, I can't remember what line he does. And he's like, that's not the best line in the movie. He's like, take out the papers and the trash.
You ain't got no spending cash.
There's loads of people on already.
Happy days.
So RD is first on again.
Is it not Lopez usually is first?
Oh, El Lopez. RD's quick as well.
Yeah.
Go coaches.
This is too much. Hello from Holly. Good heavens, we're shirtless again, Cassie, that's right.
Hell yeah.
Actually,
listen, we've been completely naked this week, so being shirtless is actually a step up.
Actually, we can have a little bit of fun of this, right? You're going to have your weapon of choice here. You can either say booby, 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 or you can say bird is the word. So if enough people say one, we'll show you a wee treat.
Yeah. Is it booby, booby, boobies, or bird is the word?
We'll see where we're going to go from there. How's my back looking?
How is your back looking? Should we ask the audience, how's Rab's back looking these
I don't
days?
know if it's fallen off. Is it still there?
Most of it.
I've lost something over here.
It's right there!
Hey!
You have such a happy back. Let's have a look at it again.
Oh, you... Just get it all done, just get it done. Are you sticking it back on, you? Why are you sticking it? What have you done? Made it a frown?
It's a sad face. Oh, it looks like a Mexican with his moustache.
Right, we had a few bird of the words there. Any booby boobies? Okay, bird is the word is on. Ready? Comes down.
Bird is the word.
One. Boom.
Bird is the word about the bird is the word. Don't you know about the word? Bird is the word. Bird is the word about the bird is the word. Don't you know about the word? Bird is the word.
Listen, the name of tonight's show is How to Be Happy, and hopefully you're all just a little bit happier right now. I feel like my protein shake.
So that was the antics we had. If you're interested, you can see the full episode on our behind the scenes on Patreon. He was running for his life. The dogs were after his balls.
I actually didn't even consider the fact that they might say, "Oh, what's that?" And they were interested.
Nala was pretty keen.
Oh, they were interested.
Boobies. Somebody's asked for one to see the other video. We need two boobies to see the other one. Need somebody else to say incognito. Incognito is genius.
Anne did say it.
Did Anne say boobies?
Yeah, and it was held for review because it was boobies.
Oh really?
Any 21-year-old left?
There is actually quite a bit. No, actually, we've none left. Send us some more.
Yes, we're completely out of 21-year-olds.
Right,
we need some more.
Anne wants to see booby. Ready?
Ready?
We'll turn the volume up so we can actually hear it. This one isn't as good. I think Bird the Word's better.
Booby.
So as you can see, both videos are very similar, but we're going to put it to a vote.
Yeah, all the boobies are getting held for review.
It's boobies up. Do you know actually that? Do you know what's funny about that is when we did the live stream up at the Harvester, right? Remember we were streaming, and something happened. We lost the stream, and then we had to come back on. And because we made a boob up, I just called it boobs.
Yeah,
and it's demonetized.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
So is booby a bad word in the States then?
Obviously. However, you do get a type of bird called boobies. You get blue boobies, and I'm pretty sure there's black boobies. There is. So I swear.
It just happens to be a blue tit as well, is it?
I'm going to Google it and I'm going to find it for you.
Somebody's asking, shrinkage much? You better believe it. Actually, what was interesting about it is, so for part of that, the mindset is coming out on Monday. The blue-footed booby, I take it back. There's a blue-footed booby bird. So we're diving into that water. We did that initially, and it was pretty cold, but it wasn't that bad. Then afterwards, we were doing some photographs, and literally we just stood in it, just up to our ankles. Yeah, man, that was fucking cold. The weather just turned, didn't it?
I mean, going in balls deep was fine, but just stood in the down to the ankles was not nice.
I clicked my fingers there, right, and just reminded me of a story from this week, and I felt really sorry for it. So I was in a session on Monday, and there's another guy comes to join in. There's one of my clients' sessions, and he was trying to play with Nala, and he was trying to get her to sit, and she was just ignoring him. And I was like, well, Steve, you have to kind of click your fingers and, command her, sit. And she commands. And she still hadn't sat, and he's like, he can't. He'd like staved his finger at the weekend, he's into kayaking. And I watched him and it was, I later on remembered he'd staved his finger, but it's like watching a grown man that couldn't click his fingers, and therefore the dog wasn't doing what he was doing. It's like, damn it, I've got no command over this dog at all.
It's really bad, because also I do that with Tilly as well. I'm like, it's just a snap so they're paying attention, and you give her the command, and I do that. I did it with Argyle the other day, so I did it with my son, and he wasn't listening to me. I was like, hey, and I was like, I just clicked my fingers at my son.
Well, I did it to the wife. And she's like, did you click your fingers at me? I was like, yep.
So tonight is actually going to be a little bit educational. It's going to be like one of our Mindset Mondays in a way, but the live version.
Mindset Friday, because it has a right ring to it.
Yeah, we need that. Fun Time Friday.
Fun Time Friday.
Fun Time Friday. So it's all about how to be happy. So we've actually done a bunch of mindset lessons on this.
Fun Time Friday. I've got to click it.
Go on then.
What is the word about the bird? What is the word? Don't you know about the word? What is the word? What is the word about the bird? What is the word? Don't you know about the word? What is the word?
It is Fun Time Friday.
We're so cheesy, we laugh at our own shit.
But you know what? We came into this, we've always said, if we can help one person, then it's a success, right?
Yeah, so if we've cheered up one person tonight, boom.
And to be honest, we've cheered each other up, so we're kind of like, yeah, do you know what? Boom, success.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to give you like a 3-part overview of how to be happy, because there's far too many people say, oh, I'd love to be happy, and they've got all these kind of different reasons, so we're going to actually run you through our 3-step process.
3-step process. We need to remember what they are. So step number 1, you have to choose to be happy.
Very, very simple. You have to decide. Absolutely. No questions, no ifs, no buts. Decide to be happy. Because like I've said, too many people will say, oh, well, I'd love to be happy, but, and then something follows. Like, I've got an incurable illness. I've lost a loved one. My partner's left me. I lost my job. I crashed my car, and it can go from something huge to something, quite trivial. Ultimately, happiness starts with a simple choice of like, okay, do you want to be happy or not? Okay, so once you've fully made your mind up and you say, right, do you know what? I'm a happy person. I'm going to be happy. Okay, so what is next?
What is next? So there can't be any excuses on the table with that decision. Yeah. It can't be, I want to be happy, but no buts. Except for our butts. In fact, one more time for the butts. Ready?
Butts.
What is the word about the what is the word? Don't you know about the word? What is the word?
That is the only butts that are allowed on the table.
Yes. No ifs, not buts. The next thing. Okay, so we're big believers that you have got certain things in your life that you have no control over. Okay, so all those little things I just mentioned about, I want to be happy, but I've got, this going on, I've got that going on, this happened to me, or that happened to me, or this might happen to me, that's going to happen to me in the future. There's a bunch of stuff that you cannot control. So then we say, focus on the things that you do have control over, because more often than not, the things that you do have control over have a bigger impact on your happiness anyway. So we're talking about the physical things.
So exercise, rest, diet.
Yep. Everything that you eat and drink ultimately makes up your body, your cells, your body processes, and the compounds and the nutrients that end up in the brain, which is then obviously where happiness comes from, will have an effect on you. So it's just all too often that people say, I'm not a very happy person, or they're feeling a bit down for whatever reason, but at the same time they're drinking too much alcohol, they're maybe having too much toxins through just bad food choices, maybe because it's not a good environment, even just environmental toxins. You're not getting out in the fresh air. But then exercise and sleep are huge contributors to how you feel on a day-to-day basis. All you have to do is go one night without a good night's sleep, and you'll wake up the next day feeling miserable, you feel low energy, you'll feel down, and that's just from one night. So think about your sleeping patterns and what you are doing to maximize or optimize, should I say, optimize your sleeping patterns. That is avoiding electrical devices, it's dimming the lights a couple of hours before bed, it's actually setting a sensible bedtime, knowing when you're going to get up the next day, and you want to have at least 8 hours in bed, if at all possible.
And the other things tie in with sleep as well. So when we mentioned diet and exercise, when you eat better and train well, exercise can take all shapes and forms, get fresh air, you do sleep better. If you're not doing a lot and eating the wrong foods, you go to bed at night, you're just lethargic, but don't sleep, you don't get a good night. If you're drinking too much, although you might fall asleep with alcohol, your body isn't really resting, so then you wake up feeling lousy. And of course, alcohol is a depressant naturally anyway, so you'll be a wee bit miserable in the morning.
Listen, we've all had that hangover guilt, right? You drink too much the night before and you wake up and you feel like you've killed somebody.
Well, it's funny because whenever I drink, it's not funny, I hate using that term because it's really not fucking funny at all. If I drink on Saturday night...
So it is funny.
What's funny? Did you just drop a ball?
What is the word about the what is the word? Don't you know about the word? What is the word?
Yeah, that's funny.
I tried to save the day by clicking that before his bomb would...
I didn't do a bubble. I swear.
Yeah, so if I've been drinking on Saturday, it's the Monday morning that the depression kicks in. I say depression, I feel unhappy.
Yeah.
I wake up, I'm like, dragging my feet. So the Sunday, you've got the sort of physical hangover, and even if I eat well on the Sunday, I wake up Monday morning, it feels like I've got a ball and chain on each foot, just dragging. It's like walking in treacle. It takes me to about Monday lunchtime to get going, and the rest of the week's fine.
I'm a next day person. If I'm out on the Saturday night, it's a Sunday, I'm like, feel like I've killed somebody, feel really bad.
Sometimes we have, mate.
Someday, yeah. Well, that's only once. It's only once.
Once was an accident, the other 15 times was deliberate, and we dug holes and we forgot where we buried them, so we can't even move them if we want to.
Yeah, that's true. True fact.
Well.
So yeah, looking at your whole lifestyle, the physical aspects to start with. So before you even start to think, I'd love to be happy, and what mind tricks can we go off? Start with the physical things, because the physical ends up as it's mental processes. So yeah, look at the foods that you're eating. Make sure you've got a balanced diet of whole, natural food 90% of the time. You want to be minimising the toxins, minimising bad and processed foods. Exercise to get the energy systems flowing. Okay, you want blood and energy and nutrients passing around your body. And then lastly is your sleep, making sure that you are sleeping well enough in a deep sleep, avoiding alcohol, because although like Rab says, you may feel like you're sleeping off the toxins, you're not actually repairing your brain and your cells from the day's activities. So that's the physical side of things.
Now Anne's just saying here, my sleep's been crap for years. I'm lucky if I get 5 hours. And someone else agreed with her. Paul Wilgus agreed. There are a lot of go-tos for sleep remedies. You might have heard, I'm sure you probably researched it, because people that struggle with sleep end up staying up all night researching how to sleep. You might hear about foods, tryptophan foods as well. The tryptophan, is that an amino acid? I forget. I think it's in turkey, and there's a whole bunch of foods that you can find it in. That helps you sleep as well. There's some supplements you can get as well. Do you know the old classic, which actually works, is Horlicks?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, what's Horlicks fundamentally? It's
I don't know what Horlicks is.
It's malt and something in a hot drink, and I forget what it is.
Right.
Anne Binner will know. Anne Binner and Sawyers will know. Horlicks, whatever it is. It helps to relax you before bedtime. There's a lot of sort of other things you can take as well that can.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's. I always say your body has this natural.
I'm sorry, fucking hell. Miss Binner. Anne Binner.
I'm not even going to mention it.
We're going to have to take a commercial break.
Don't you know about the word?
Welcome back. Sorry about that unprofessional break. We needed those 8 seconds to compose ourselves and continue with the lesson. We need another 8 seconds.
Oh, they're back. Look, they're back. Hey, how are we doing? So yeah, I would say your body has this natural ability to fall asleep, and it's actually us and our environment that we're creating for ourselves that are stopping that natural process. So look at your lifestyle, look at modern technology is a huge one. You know, it's funny, I always laugh because if you wake up in the morning, if you're going about your day and you're scrolling through like Facebook or whatever, and you see people's comments that are saying, you know, posted at like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. saying, I can't sleep. And you're like, that's because you've got your phone in your face. Like, that's one of the worst things that you can do. So your body is very light sensitive. So in your natural environment, when the sun goes down, you produce less cortisol. It kind of increases melatonin, I think is the right hormone. And that then creates the need for sleep. And when the sun comes back up again, when the sun hits your eyes or your eyelids because you'll be sleeping, that then creates a sort of rise in cortisol, and it stimulates sort of more sugars into the bloodstream, and it ultimately wakes you up. If you've got the phone, you've got this artificial light in your face, like right here, of course you're going to be awake. And also people say, well, I was already awake, but like if you want to go back to sleep, the worst thing you can do is switch your phone on. Get your phone off, get all electronic devices off. And you know, we're talking about sleep here, but ultimately this then affects your overall happiness because we need sleep.
What about battery powered devices?
Battery powered devices?
Don't you know about the word?
5 million! 5 million and one! Man, that's a
Couple
good
of dicks. I love that line in Anchorman when he sets it up in the office though, he's pumping iron, and Furch comes in, he's like, oh, it burns, I did so many. He's like grabbing his arms, and Will Ferrell's got like just no physique at all, does he?
Similar chest here to you though, right?
I don't have chest here, this is Quincy.
Oh, of course.
Everyone will need to say goodbye to Quincy.
Quincy's going next week, right?
Goodbye, Quincy. He's going on his holidays, he'll be gone for probably 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how long it'll take to come back, probably.
It's taken me 35 years to grow this little bit of bad boy.
What is that in? Oh, it's like, what is that in when somebody gets a haircut and it just grows back instantly? Oh, fuck.
Evan Almighty.
Is it? Yes, it's beard. Yeah, that's could be that. I'm going to shave off like, whoosh, and then it's just going to be. Whoosh.
Is it Evan Almighty or Bruce Almighty?
I've got a feeling it's. Oh, no, you might be. It could be either one, right?
Here goes.
Oh no, you're right. It's Evan Almighty because he's playing Noah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Both very funny films.
Yeah.
Glenn, you're greedy. What's Glenn saying?
Glenn's up to no good.
I wish I hadn't asked. I wish I had not asked.
Glenn. He's just had another.
You should shave it and hang it on the wall.
I'm going to stick it to me for next week, and it's in a little plastic bag. We'll auction it off. Did you just? God help Rav. Maybe. What you have to understand is when you're on a high protein diet, you don't want to be stuck in an elevator.
So anyway, that's points number 1 and 2. So point number 1 is you have to absolutely decide if you want to be happy or not. If you decide that you do want to be happy and that your current situation or your current thought processes are not helping you and are not serving you, then first of all look at the physical aspect of what you are doing. Are you training? Are you eating well? And are you sleeping okay? The step number 3 is then a very, very simple mindset, and is you have to look at your life and decide, are you being creative with your life or are you being reactive? So you want to create your life, and as soon as you are being creative, so this is something that we do as personal trainers. If we're working with a client, you always give the client a certain element of control over their exercise plan. So you obviously you ask them the right questions, you say okay, and then you give them some sort of suggestions, and you basically you work together. And ultimately, we're the professionals. We will make up 80 to 90% of the structure, but you give the client this element of control because it allows them to feel like they're in control. They feel like that they're making the decisions. They're being creative. Like this is my choice. I'm not just being told what to do. This is my choice to do this, and it makes you do more. It makes you feel better about the things that you're doing. So this is what you will want to look at in your own life to say, am I being creative with my life, or am I just doing what I'm told and reacting to situations? Because it's reacting to situations that is the main source of unhappiness.
So the next time he drops a bomb, I'm going to be stone-faced, because if I react to it, it makes me unhappy. I'm going to be creative and just be creative. Just stand here like nothing happened.
Exactly.
Ron Grant saying, saw Thor Ragnarok. Chris is pretty, but he has nothing on Steven.
Oh, thanks. To be honest, he's pretty fucking awesome.
He's a big laddie. What is he, 6'4"? Have we had this discussion before?
No, I'm not sure actually. How big is Chris Hemsworth? He's a big lad.
Somebody Google it for us.
And his arms are impressive. Like.
Aye, he's definitely grown as he's been doing that series, isn't he? I love Thor Ragnarok. It's my favourite Marvel movie.
It's great, isn't it?
I just think it gets a good combination of the humour, the action. It's got the chick in it. It's got everything you want, right?
There was just so much freedom. Apparently, most of it was ad lib. Ad lib, is that the right word?
Ad hoc.
Ad hoc. Yeah.
Ad hoc. Oh no, you might be right.
No,
it's
ad lib.
ad lib. Oh yeah.
What's ad hoc?
Ad hoc's something, but I don't know. I think you're right with ad lib, but ad hoc means something else. Goodbye, new Doug.
Chris uses attachments on his biceps to make them look bigger.
No,
what?
Really?
No, he doesn't.
Oh wait, Dave. Dave's fairly new. Hi, Dave. New Dave.
Dave Smith. That's a made-up name.
Dave Smith. No, it's John Smith's a made-up name, isn't it? No, that's a beer. John Smith, isn't it? Yeah.
What? John Smith?
In the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and he has to go looking for they're like, do you want us to search for a
John Smith.
John Smith?
Yeah.
They're like, Jesus. Why is the screen not in focus? It is. Isn't
The screen is pretty much in focus.
Yeah, it's in focus on our phones. It's focus here.
You might want to take a trip to Specsavers. Or stop drinking so much whiskey.
Those commercial breaks are funny, guys. Got rubies. It's not Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. If you've forgotten what it is, Vinny, it's
What cartoon is Gaston from?
Ruby, 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 Ruby. Ruby, 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 Ruby. There you are, Vinny.
Yeah, why is the screen not in focus? That was Gaston, and Gaston is from
Beauty and the Beast.
Gaston. It's not a song about him as well. Gaston.
No one drinks like Gaston. No one thinks like Gaston. No one has a cleft on his chin like Gaston. I've got a daughter, right? Give me a break, fuck's sake. Although I watched it before she was ever born. Like.
Why is the balls there?
The balls? Which balls can they see?
Balls, right, big balls.
A pink one, yellow one.
You can have a pink one. I was going for a purple because that's how they feel sometimes. Actually, I'm going to pink.
You want to hear something cool, right? So, an old friend of mine, I just saw on her Facebook feed, and she said that her son called purple navy pink.
Navy pink?
I think her son's like 8 years old, so you know, the mind of a
That's
child.
a genius.
I know. I never actually I forgot to comment on her post. So, Anne Michelle, if you're watching, your son's a genius.
That is genius. That's a 6 kilogram purple ball.
I'm going to play with my ball.
You play with it.
Beauty and the Beast for the win.
Hey.
Rab, please stop singing. Anne! Stop swinging on your pole then, Anne. That's the equivalent thing, isn't it? You wouldn't like if I said that to you.
Hey, Joey Gallon.
Joey,
Coach
my
Rab
man.
looked like he was wearing a lace
G-string when you
G-string.
feel on the beast. Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, but
Really?
that was a subliminal advert for Victoria's Secret.
We need to go back and watch that. We actually can.
was there like a tan line? Have you been getting fake tans with your little G-string on?
Mm-hmm.
Caught out.
Why is it called a G-string?
I have no idea.
Johnny, here's the
Thing is, it's Australian called it's thongs, it's not G-string. Yeah, Australians call flip-flops thongs.
Oh, really? When I was younger, it was actually when I was at early high school. I knew a guy that thought it was called a cheese string because that made sense to him. Because who knows where it would end up and get cheesy.
Yeah, because a cheese wire you cut cheese with, right? And it goes through.
And every time he used to say it, we just thought he was saying it wrong. He's like, "Yeah, you girls are into your thongs and your cheese strings," and one girl called him out on it. And then he realised that that's what he genuinely thought it was called.
Thing is, it makes sense though, right? Some girls have cheese down there.
Commercial.
But is the word. But is the word. But is the word. Don't you know about the word?
We're going to have to be a little bit more professional tonight because these commercial breaks are getting that.
I know. There's only so many times we can play an 8-second clip.
Yeah.
As good as we think it is, you guys will get bored with it.
How can you put that crazy video if you're alive? Fernando, we've got... Well, we can't even show you unless... Could we get a mirror and then we could reflect our... We've got software that allows us to do all sorts.
Shall we create a time
use
loop and
the
get the
mouse.
mirror over?
Yeah. So basically we've got the mouse, a little keyboard. And we don't... Sometimes when we go live we just use our phones as a camera. But when we want to be a bit more technical, like that's how we've managed to get the wee logo in the corner. I don't know if you can... I'm pointing on it but you can't see my pointer.
This is a very professional show.
Here we are for the other angle. Wait.
Right. So if I...
Couldn't you just have left it here?
I was going to show them, look.
Oh, look at that! Hey!
So, hang on, how do I do this? So yeah, but this software allows us to play different things. I'm going to do this and do this.
Yeah. That must be messing with his head because he's like, how can they be live? Because we have had it a few times. People don't think we're live. Wow, it's amazing how like empty that room looks without the mirror there, though, right?
It's lost, right? I need an update on the bald guy. You might be watching. Mark, if you're watching, come say hi.
Dave Smith saying, have you decided where you're going on your unplugged weekend? Yes, we have, Dave.
Yes,
we've got it all booked up.
It's all booked.
What we've been doing is playing around. There's a whole bunch of things we each want to do, which is going to be brilliant. I mean, actually, loads of people last week gave us lots of tips on Twitter for meditation techniques. Spirit journeys, wasn't it? We looked into what they did. Spirit Quest.
Vision Quest. Vision Quest.
So we looked into them.
Ultimately, it's a bit of a cop-out, but it's not. It's like we're going to do nothing, and that's the thing. Like we're going to take some basic stuff. So like we want to go for long walks. We want to do meditations. We want to find somewhere to swim in either a loch or a river.
And I want to splash in a loch or a river.
Yeah, because Rab can't swim very well.
I want to quieten the mind,
and that's about it. You know, we're the whole point is that we're not going to busy ourselves trying to do too many things. We're just like, no, I actually want to find like a decent walk, possibly two, and then just repeat them, and just kind of go off wandering, just do our own thing.
Yeah, I do want to catch something like an animal or something. That'd be awesome. Catch an animal. Fernando saying, I can't meditate, I'm so hyperactive. Fernando, to be fair, I used to meditate, and I love meditating. I just feel that my life is so hectic at the moment that I've not been able to. So that's the whole point of this trip, is I want to quiet my mind and I want to just chill and slow everything down. I mean, that's ultimately what our mindset was on this week, if you haven't checked out, is slowing everything down and just being able to relax, like properly, because you can go away with the family, you can go away on a break here and there, and you relax, but you've still got all your kind of technological devices that keep you plugged in. Whereas ultimately we're going to be unplugged.
What I've realised this week, if you're on our email list, and actually if you're on our Patreon, so I did a quick little live bit to Patreon. I was out on a walk and I came across the two little sticks.
That was cool.
So there's these two sticks sat up against the wall, and it looked like the pause symbol, which is cool. And it just made me think, I've just done a mindset on slowing things down. So it's like, it's like a pause. It's like, what would you do if you paused your life? So what I realised was I just started thinking about that process. If I could pause life, I had no anxiety whatsoever. So I thought, right, great. So obviously my anxiety is different to everybody else's. That's fine. But all of mine is time related. I feel I've got like too many tasks to do. So actually, this trip, we spoke about this in depth, but ultimately it is fasting. It's fasting from food. Okay, so we're not going to not eat for the week, but we're going to take minimal food. So we're living off the bare minimum, and certainly nothing fancy. We're fasting from technology, okay, because again we don't need technology. We'll take a camera of some kind so that we can record little bits and pieces for you guys. But then we're fasting from our families, which is going to be bloody tough. But I think the whole point is to reiterate the point that we don't need, like, in order to survive, you don't need all the things that you believe you need. Now, it's easy for me to say that, and I know logically that's true, but emotionally you can't feel it. Because you're like, no, but I still want to check my phone. I love food. Almost as much as him. But so the whole point of these experiences is you go along and you learn more from experience than you do from any book or words or podcasts that you're listening to or coaches that you're listening to on YouTube.
I mean, my mission, because I'll have my phone with me for filming, but it's going to stay on airplane mode. That's my mission. I don't want to look at. Sometimes I use my phone to write notes down, so I won't be. And I like that because when I'm thinking, I like to quickly note it down. I just do it notes. But my goal is to just keep on airplane mode, and resisting that urge to switch off and receive data is going to be a battle for it. I'm just like, no, I'm just not doing it. I'm just going to plug that in.
Plug it in. Running out of battery, so Rab is on the power mission. So we are unplugging our lives, but Rab is plugging in the laptop. Because some things do need power. So yeah, we're actually, Rab and I keep chatting about this trip, and we cannot wait. I've been building up a few things. There's a few things in my Amazon basket at the moment that I want to make sure that I've got, just so that I don't have to take much. The whole point is we want to have minimal stuff. So I'm going to have one backpack. That is it. So it's looking at, hey, well, I'm buying like a microfiber towel, for instance. I want a towel that will fold up to sort of this size. It's tiny, but it's so very absorbent. They're great towels, rather than taking a huge towel. So little things like that. So again, last week I think we asked if you got any tips on, you know, mindful techniques and books that we could possibly read. Actually, for equipment and clothing as well, you know, if you've got any tips that we can minimise space, anything that we should really kind of take with us, by all means, hit us up on Twitter. Give us some suggestions.
It's funny because we released that was just yesterday we did the Patreon video, right, which is the behind the scenes stuff, and we discuss. But actually, we're discussing knives.
Oh yeah,
right. But the way that Stephen words it, he's like, yeah. If it's over 3 inches, it's illegal.
I'm okay then.
It's 3 inches or less,
especially after jumping into that water, right?
And obviously, you were talking about knives and they weren't allowed to lock. But it wasn't until I was editing it, so I was looking back. And I must have just jumped to that. It's like, yeah, if it's over 3 inches, it's illegal. It's like, fuck, take me straight to jail.
It's that line from Full Metal Jacket when they're in Vietnam and they've got the prostitute, and she says no to the black guy. She's like, no, too cool.
That's right. Yeah. She's wanting none of his party, right? Somebody asked a question further up. What was it? It was pretty good. No, wait. There's so many questions flying. Where was it? It was a question. Don't know where are we? Yeah, well, the moment is gone. Maybe I just imagined the comment was there.
Hi from Hungary.
Hungry. Are people hungry in Hungary? I bet they get that joke all the time. That's terrible, eh? Sorry, my bad. My humour's been shite recently.
What was the other dad joke that you said the other day? It was terrible.
It's the actor Rip Torn. And that's always changed his name to Torn to Shred. The minute I left my lips, I was like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Dude, you can be forgiven because sometimes you do come out with funny stuff. So
now
it's
and
fine.
again.
Yeah.
But recently it's been dad joke after dad joke. Hello fellas, where's the eggs? The Easter eggs.
Do you guys ever get your kids and wives involved with your activities?
Yes, we do.
When you say activities, do you mean general activities or YouTube activities?
The YouTube, we've had our kids in YouTube videos. Our wives don't want to be in the videos.
No. I've actually that live feed that I did a couple of months ago now, the very first anxiety one, because you were preoccupied having some children. So my wife was in the same room, and I was like, "Do you want to come over and sit on the sofa with me?" She was like, "No." So she was literally in the same room, but no, they don't want to be involved, they don't want to be on camera, and you've got to respect that.
Yeah. Because my wee one was a line guard drawer.
Stephen, you're looking bigger than Rab.
Ooh.
Can you see? I don't think I'm looking bigger than Rab.
It's because he's more defined. So measurement wise, we're still talking muscle here, right? Yeah, measurement wise I'm larger, but because he's a ripped wee bugger, optical illusion.
It's an optical illusion, it is. Or maybe one day.
Somebody was making a curry. Oh, do you remember? Wasn't Sarah making a curry last week or the week before? The weeks are flying in at the moment.
Yeah, the weeks are. I can't believe it's actually April.
I know.
On whatever day. What day is April? Monday.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
Or Sunday. April 1st.
Brazil loves us. Happy day. We actually need to go to Brazil.
I'd love to go to Brazil.
What's her name? Clarissa.
Clarissa's from Brazil.
She says she'll give us a tour of Rio. Apparently Rio is one of the places to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's certain places you've got to have a guide for, so to speak, but the rest of the places...
Is it called the favelas or something?
What was Sean vlog when we were chatting to him? He goes to Brazil. He lives in Brazil as well as here, and he was telling us some good tips as well, which obviously we forgot, so we just have to hit him up again.
Stephen, is your wife making... Oh yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago when we were here. She was making curry and we wanted her to bring some down, and she didn't.
Damn it, that's the grounds for divorce. Mark Shealy, does traditional Scottish food tend to be unhealthy? Not really. I mean, what would you consider traditional? Haggis, neeps and tatties.
Haggis, neeps and tatties is...
Porridge is fairly healthy.
Yeah.
What else?
Traditional Scottish food. I mean, we're talking traditional Scottish food and not modern Scottish food, because there's a lot of kind of like Scotch eggs, for instance. Like, what the hell is a Scotch egg? Like, nobody eats Scotch eggs here. Well, maybe some people do, but and the whole deep fried Mars bar. There's a bit of kind of urban myths in a way. I mean, they did exist, but that's not really traditional Scottish. Traditional Scottish food is salmon and stovies.
Yeah, stovies I've not had in ages.
Awesome.
Now you mentioned I'm going to have it this weekend, I'm sure of it.
Haggis, neeps and tatties, Cullen skink, which is really good. They're like really porridge.
It just sounds too much like skank. Cullen skink, yes,
skank. But no, Scottish food is really, really healthy. Actually, most Scottish foods can be classed as not most Scottish foods can be classed as superfoods, but there's lots of superfoods, like haggis, for instance. Lots of the bits of the animal that you don't normally eat. Most people go to the supermarket and they'll buy like chicken breast, lamb fillets, steak fillets of fish. It's always just the meat, or the muscle, should I say, the muscle. But there's a lot of goodness in the other organs and bits and pieces, and that's exactly what haggis is. Loads of goodness in it.
Anne loves a bit of a Yorkshire pudding. But Anne, that's not Scottish, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Now, where are Yorkshire puddings from? Maybe we'll ask Holly. She might know.
Yeah.
Or Anne. Anne might know. Yorkshire pudding. Do you like Game of Thrones? Yes, but we don't have another instalment until, was it 2019?
I think it's just been put onto Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, which is a bugger because I subscribed last year to Sky Atlantic just so I could watch it.
Oh, really?
If I knew it was going to come to Netflix, I wouldn't have bothered.
I might watch it again.
Yeah.
Organ meats can cause gout. They can also give you lots of goodness.
Oh, I was watching this documentary, completely unrelated to superfoods, but it's called Take Your Pills. Seen that?
No.
It's on Netflix, and I just never looked into this before. But apparently, there's a massive epidemic in colleges in the States and in the UK as well for a drug called, is it Advil? It's an amphetamine.
Oh, really?
They give it for people with ADHD. So what these students do, they take their Advil, they sit down to study, and they're just like ping. It's like the movie Limitless, but not. So if Limitless is like Advil on steroids,
right, okay.
basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit! And then it gave you the history of amphetamines, and they were first discovered in the 1930s. So this guy was trying to discover a decongestion and accidentally discovered amphetamines, and then give us passages from the journal. He's like, nice. 10 minutes later, I feel amazing. And then an hour, 2 hours later, he was palpitations and couldn't sleep.
There's studies going on in America at the moment about psychedelics, and they're doing microdosing psychedelics.
Adderall, not Advil. I knew I was getting that mixed up. Adderall.
So yeah, they're doing microdosing of psychedelics to treat depression.
Really?
Or should I say, what is it? Untreatable depression or drug-resistant depression, and apparently he's having huge effects. So there's like funded studies. Tim Ferriss, who I listen to his podcast, funds some of it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's involved quite heavily with it. But yeah, there's a lot of good drugs out there.
Well, it was interesting because this same thing he was talking about, Adderall, the equivalent, because back in the 1930s and 40s, they brought it out as an inhaler under the name Benadryl. And when they went to war in World War II, all their troops were at it because it gave them a buzz. It made them feel good, and if you're in war, nothing feels good, right? And it wasn't until I think it wasn't until the 70s or maybe the 80s they started to realise, oh wait a second, there's a bit of a problem with it here, because it was something like 8 billion tablets in circulation or prescribed, because it's a prescription only drug. So they cut it back and said, right, we're only going to prescribe, let's just say 400 million tablets. So there was a big clamp down on it. But yeah, I didn't realise that people in colleges and whatever was taking it. Because I always assume, I always relate amphetamines to either sport or anyone that wants to be bouncing off the walls. I can't imagine someone sitting down to study.
Yeah.
But it's maybe the way, because you get different types of amphetamines, so maybe the way this one stimulates, it manages to get them to focus. I don't know.
I don't know why I've just thought of this, but this whole cricket thing going on at the moment, the cheating.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's hilarious. Like, this guy has cheated in a pretty small way, I would say. It's like
sandpaper job.
Sandpapered the ball. You're like, Christ's sake, there's bloody cyclists who are taking drugs. There's footballers biting their opponents, and this guy like rubs a ball, and it's like all the he's crying and stuff. And you're like, oh come on, like give the guy a break. So what?
Do you know what was crazy about it? When I read into different ways that they perform that same cheat, which is still classed as a cheat, they sometimes deliberately bounce past the ball back over a certain bit of grass that's rougher than the other to create the same effect. Over the course of a game, it then
wears away.
So I don't know why they don't just change the ball every so many overs. That would solve that problem, right? Just eliminate, just every so many overs, every 5 overs, change the ball. Job done. Because apparently the other thing they used to do, because they're allowed to rub it on their trousers, but it was sandpaper this guy used, or something like sandpaper, and there was something else they used to put on it as well to create spin. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, same thing.
I think it's just silly. If you watch football, like footballers are the worst ever. Like every single game, every game without fail, somebody will dive. Somebody will nudge somebody. They'll elbow them. You know, people bite each other. Then fights, and you're like this happens at every single match. And then this guy literally just like cheats a wee bit. I think just trying to get the edge over his opponents, which every single sportsman does. And there's like uproar. It's all over the news, and you're like, oh come on.
What's interesting about it though, and it doesn't matter what anyone says, it's now put all the focus back on cricket. And I don't know about you, I'm not really a cricket fan, but I'm like, I actually want to see how Australia play after this has happened. So right away I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch it next time. It's that, what's it?
I've never, I actually can't watch cricket. I think it's boring as sin. Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, Ted's on. Oh, Glenn. What's Glenn said now? Proper football, not that US crap.
Oh, Dr. Kirsty's on. Dr. Kirsty is currently in Gran Canaria, I think. I haven't got that wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Gran Canaria. Hope you're having a good holiday, Kirsty.
Getting a 10. Did you guys know that the coaches are Jewish? It's true. OIV. Is that a joke?
That sounds like the start of a joke.
I know.
What's the punchline? What's the punchline? You tell me.
I actually don't know if I know any Jewish people.
I don't know any Jewish people.
I don't know if there's as many Jews in Scotland. Although saying that, just recently there was one of our political parties is in a bit of a anti-Semitic. Is it Semitic? Whatever that fucking word is when it's anti-Jewish row at the moment because he liked a tweet that portrayed the Jewish making money off the back of some nonsense.
I don't know about you, but see when you start like we go through like our social media and the people that we follow, sometimes you go, yeah, I like that, and sometimes you don't actually realise what you're liking. And
you might look at the image and think, oh, that looks funny, but you don't grasp what it means. And it's still, because nowadays you get in trouble just for offending people.
Well, it's funny, she'll probably hate me for saying this, but the wife really got on at me once. She was in a mood with me and I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing. And she honestly, about 5 hours passed and I was like, what have I done? What have I done something wrong? No, I liked a photo of my friend who was in the same picture. She's got a friend who I didn't know, but this other friend was really pretty fucking shitty to the wife, and she hated her. But because I liked the photo that she was in, she was like, kind of, fucking liked her. I was like, I have no idea who she is. Sarah probably hates me now for mentioning that.
Did you guys do something for Good Friday today?
We had lunch, not together. I had lunch and you had lunch.
I had lunch, yeah. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it, really.
Yeah, we don't really do anything for Good Friday.
No, I think if people are more religious, I think it's quite. I mean, what I did notice though is like because everybody's off, the traffic was horrendous today. I say horrendous. Like, I'm sure if you live in a bigger city than we do, you get horrendous all the time.
Yeah. But we had to wait for 8.5 extra minutes.
No. But I would imagine it'd be quite nice to go if you're fairly religious. It'd be nice to go to a service on Good Friday. I would imagine.
Yeah.
And Easter Sunday as well, if you're into that kind of thing. Do you do Easter egg hunts with your kids? Ralphie, we did one last weekend.
We did. That was good. Coach Rab sorted it out. Kids loved it.
But if you know what was funny about it is I had so many of these little eggs or little treats. And we genuinely couldn't find the last two because I couldn't remember where to put them all. Because I wasn't watching, because I was taking my daughter around and I wasn't watching where people were finding them. So I didn't know which ones had been found and which hadn't. So then it was like, oh, there's 2 to go because we knew that all the kids had 6 each. So we're like, right, okay. And I put letters on them just because the treats that were in them were all shared out evenly and blah, blah, blah. So we're looking around, I knew there was 2 to find and couldn't find them. Turned into a real hunt, didn't it?
I know, alright, it was good. A good wee Easter egg hunt.
See, I was thinking about that, like, see if we ever do a hunt, what we should do is get absolutely smashed up the night before, right? And when we're mangled, go and hide the eggs.
And I try and find
And the
them
next
when
day
we're
we're going to be like, where the fuck did we put that?
Did I ever tell you about the time when I cleaned my flat when I was single, when I was smashed? So I'm pretty sure it was like with you. And anyway, I got back to my flat. I was single at the time, so I go back to the flat, and I was like, oh man, and you know things bother me about OCD. So when I was by myself, I was like, oh. And I think we maybe had a few drinks in the flat or something beforehand.
Right.
So I got when I was like, right, I'm going to clean this up. So I was mangled, and I had this cleaning hat. So it was like a straw hat that I used to wear, and it was my cleaning hat. So I knew when the hat was on, I was in cleaning mode, and I never took the hat off until the cleaning was finished. So I was like smashed up, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like cleaning the hat on, and it was only in the morning that I woke up, and I was kind of like, this place smells amazing. I was looking at, and I'd been hoovered, everything, like absolutely everything been done, and I was like, oh man, never remember. I was like, oh, this is awesome. It was like a gift from drunk Stephen to sober, hungover Stephen.
Well, the only time because I usually remember everything when I'm drunk, and I remember I woke up one morning and I looked out the window. I was like, where the fuck is my car? Like, it wasn't there, and I was like, pretty sure because I hadn't planned to take the car when I went out. So then I'm messing around, and it took me the best part of a couple hours. I got one of my mates to come pick me up, and I went to where I thought it might be, and it wasn't there. And I was like, shit. Now, to be fair, I had the keys, so I knew it was somewhere. You could be driving around town like, where the fuck have I left my car? And what it was is that last minute, someone was meant to have been coming to mine. We're supposed to get a taxi down together, and but they'd cancelled on me, so I was like, oh, I'll have to drive. But it's rather than leave my car in the car park at the pub, because sometimes there's fights in that pub, and didn't want anyone getting smashed against my windscreen or whatever, I parked it in the next street over. And of course, I was in such a hurry, parked the car, jumped out, ran across. Then when we're in the pub, this is a long-winded story for basically nothing really, we then changed our plans when we were in the pub and ended up going to Kirkcaldy.
Okay.
And we were meant to be out in Glenothan. So right away everything was muddled up. So when I got home, I was like, well, I was in Kirkcaldy. Surely I didn't drive to Kirkcaldy. I can't remember for the life of me. It was pretty scary actually when you just didn't know where your car was.
Dude, where's my car?
I know. It's funny because that's Ashton Kutcher. He was so young in that movie. There's that really annoying scene actually when he's like, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And then what's it?
Sweet.
Yeah.
What does mine say? What does mine say? Oh, dude.
Yeah. But what was it? Yeah. Back and forward.
Cassie Banks, hoovered. That definitely means something different in the US. What does hoovered mean? For us, it's like using a Hoover.
Yeah. Because Hoover is actually a brand of vacuum cleaner.
It's a vacuum cleaner, yeah. But Hoover was like the famous brand, and yeah.
I wonder what it means.
Yeah, what does Hoover mean in?
Vinny's going to go back to nature to relax. Good on you, Vinny.
Yay.
Yes. Document it and let us know how you get on. Ted said it's a PJ.
Is it really?
And on that note.
Bird is the word. Bird is the word. Bird is the word. Don't you know about the word? Bird is the word. Don't you know?
Well.
Really? So,
Hoover is a beat.
is it because it's been sucked? Because when you're hoovering, it's sucking up all the dirt, right? But surely, I don't know.
That actually makes more sense than a blowjob. Because it is sucking, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's so funny. So, like, if people came across to Scotland, right? Could you imagine it? Like, because in Scotland, they call a fag a cigarette. Do you imagine somebody said, I'm going to have a fag while I'm doing the hoovering? Like, you are not having a fag! Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm going to do some hoovering with a fag in my mouth.
Which in Scotland would be like that.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, we'd actually say, yeah, I'm going to do some hoovering with a fag in my mouth. And that would mean using a vacuum cleaner, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, because
so there you go.
When I was in Canada and my mum smoked at the time, and she was saying to my cousins, "Yeah, I'm just going to go outside for a fag," and they were pissing themselves laughing. And she didn't get it. She's like, "Why is that so funny?" I didn't even grasp it.
So Paul Wilgus, yeah, hoovering a fag. So yeah, if somebody was smoking a cigarette, put it out and then dropped it on the floor, we could literally hoover a fag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be correct about it, we're doing the vacuum cleaning while smoking. That's the other.
Yeah. Well, having a fag while hoovering sounds something Glenn would do. Oh, that's funny.
What was it now? It wasn't Stephen Perry, it was the other Steve. Was it Steve Brent? Who was it gave Nearly Naked Nick his name? That's a tongue twister. Nearly Naked Nick his name.
Stephen Perry, I think.
Was it Stephen Perry? It was one of Steve's.
Yeah.
Or it was Steve Brent. But they'd made the comments like they loved how it stuck. Jeremias, hello. Is it me you're looking for? Well, Van, tell me off for swinging again.
Rab,
swinging?
Yeah, it was Stephen Perry. Rab, that was me.
Oh yeah,
it was me.
Liar when he comes out of the lift and he's farted.
Yeah.
Wawa Silviera, love you guys. Happy days. Yeah, that's right, Stephen. I knew there was a Steve. I couldn't remember if it was you or another guy, Steve Brent. But yep, you named him that. That's his name.
So you guys invite Max and Tom Evans to your show sometime. They are rugby players and brothers.
Yeah, that,
you know who they are.
I can't remember if it was Max or which one was it that hurt their neck, remember, and went back to doing athletics. Was that Tom Evans or Max? Well, one of them, remember he had the bad, I think it was against France, he got bad injury and that was his career over. Yeah.
Dr. Crush says, so go on, what makes you guys happy? Makes you happy, Rab?
What makes me happy? Makes me happy. Recently it's having my little baby in my arms. And actually it's when Mila, that's my eldest daughter, she's really good. She just sometimes comes up to me and she grabs my face and gives me a kiss and then she says, I love you, Daddy. I'm like, oh God. And it's like just, I never did anything to...
See, it's only I reckon he said it probably 2 or 3 times to me. Argyle started saying love you. So like you're leaving the door, you're like, hey, bye buddy, love you. And normally you just walk away, but recently he's like, love you, and you're like...
I've got this joke, but in fact it's not a joke, it's serious. I said, because it's going to happen one day, and I said to my wife, when it happens, I'm taking a day off work. Something's going to happen and my daughter's going to say, I hate you, Daddy. And I'm going to be like, oh God, calling on my clients, I'm not coming today. I'll be meeting you at the pub to get smashed. She told me she hates me.
And she will say it one of these days.
She fucking will, like. And until she apologises, I will cry. Ralphie Wiggum, what makes them happy? Hoovering, probably. With a fag in the mouth. I'm trying to see where they were going. So Rockshort said the US is a huge country and most people don't realise that. The UK is like the size of Ohio. Scotland must be tiny, but we still love you. What's the size of your country got to do with it?
I know.
See, when you think about it though, when you're laughing at the size of the UK and Scotland, we fucking conquered a lot, right?
Certainly did.
For being so small, so size doesn't matter.
Especially to the Scots.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would it matter?
I don't know. I think just some people get baffled at because we're so well known but we're so tiny.
Yeah, Scotland's pretty small. It's like 5 million people in Scotland. Yeah, it's pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
However, we've still got nuclear weapons, motherfucker.
And we've got the kilt, which is worth like 1 million men, each man in a kilt.
The sun never set on the British Empire, you know, exactly. It was huge.
There used to be a TV show called the British Empire, and it was Rimmer that played Mr. British, and he basically ran a health club.
That's right, yeah.
And he was just a
Rimmer,
bit of a dick, wasn't he? Any movement on my brilliant idea of marketing a gym quality kilt made of the mesh material used for basketball shorts, it will work. We're not kilt makers though.
Yeah. Painter68, we think you should make this. You should design, create, and we'll partner with you. We'll sell the shit out of it.
We'll be your models and fucking brand ambassador.
How about that? Because we literally do not have the time, energy, skill to create such an awesome idea.
He's like, I will.
Right, you do it. You let us know.
Rockshot. That's the point, guys. Small but mighty.
Small but mighty, just like my penis.
We always have to do that commercial break, eh? Oh man.
Oh, dear.
Ted's heading off. Happy Easter, Ted. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, have a good one, mate. Have a good one. Thor challenge update. Well, apparently I look bigger than Rab, so I would say it's going pretty well. I just need my hammer.
Have you still got your hammer?
I've still got my hammer.
But technically, he doesn't have a hammer anymore, right?
That's very true.
Just saying.
Although I think he gets it back.
Yeah.
And for Infinity War, which is just before we go away.
Is it?
It is.
No fucking way.
It is. End of April.
We're having a mandate before we go. We're going to have technology. We're going to sit in the cinema with popcorn and beer.
And I bring my hammer.
Popcorn, and you bring your hammer.
I'm gonna bring my hammer.
And I'll bring
In
something.
fact, do you think I could go as Thor to see Infinity War? That'd be cool, right?
I've got the Thor suit.
Oh, man,
Imagine we both dressed up as Thor.
my eye patch. That'd be cool, right?
I would go as Thorn. What a guy. You know what's funny about that video is it got flagged as not appropriate. I don't even think I swear in it.
Why is it inappropriate?
I can't remember.
Rab and Stephen and Rab, thank you for confirming that I'm correct when I call you both nutters.
Oh
Oh my god, you all should dress up and go see the movie. I think we should. That'd be cool, right? Imagine walking in with your hammer, like a claw hammer.
Look at me, Holly. After you help me move though, because she's moving house at the end of the month.
Oh really? Is she?
What's it worth to us, Holly? It takes a big hammer to knock a big nail.
Do you want to hear my joke about nails?
Go for it.
No, I've said it twice already. I can't say it again.
When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Right, we're going to call it. What time is it? It's 11 o'clock.
Holly's saying she'll pay for cinema and tea, but she's written tea like it's tea bag. Like tea, like a cup of tea. You know, we're picturing steak dinner, but she's probably going to give us a cup of tea.
Yeah, it's going to be a steak in a bowl, right?
Steak in a bowl. Sorry, I was somewhere else there.
What food are we going to take when we go away?
I'm going to take lots of vegetables, oats, and that's it.
Yeah, I want to take nuts, and that's it.
What about the dogs though? Well, we know Nala can catch a fish, right?
A dead one. That's rotting. I want to take some emergency packs for the dogs, but ultimately I think we need to be going finding a local butcher and asking for scraps of meat for the dogs. That's my plan. There'll be shops and stuff for the dogs. Take some emergencies. The dog is the dog.
So,
right.
If you want to see the full videos that go with both of this one,
Is the word about the bird is the word. Don't you know about the word? Bird is the word.
then you can head over to our Patreon account and sign up there if you want to see it. There's loads of behind the scenes on there now, actually.
You'll get the link on our website if you want to join. You'll also get the link for our free ebook if you want to join that. Everything's on the website. Just go to thekiltedcoaches.com, and if you have got plans for Easter weekend, then have an awesome time.
And if you don't have any plans, have an awesome time anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So from us to you, fuck off, but be happy. Be happy about it when you're fucking off.
Ding!